About ready to get this thing started here. Sharing it out to the networks. Everybody that's supporting. Sharing it to the groups. And we know sports. The forum. The huddle. Getting it done. We actually get to break some news today. Derek Barnes signing a contract. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk a little bit about some free agency, getting some moves done. We're going to talk about my mock draft from yesterday. On this episode of the Lion Villain Report.
Hey, yo, the lies so that you never make it. Hopeless, so it seems. Eyes closed, hands open wide to embrace your dreams. Sometimes you gotta take a loss just to get the win. Like lots of sin was popping in like oxygen when boxes wet. Focus on the mental, never lose like a smooth instrumental. Better choose on the move in a pinto. Choose when I get to, never lose smooth on the move, but it's simple. Never give up and we running it, maybe. We just keep winning, we conquering daily. Envision and pay me, it's never this way. We indigenous, maybe we winning this crazy. Your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity. This your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity. This your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity. This your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity.
Yeah. Welcome all, ladies and gentlemen. I certainly hope that you can hear me right here and right now. Yeah. Welcome all to the Lion Villain Report. It's the off season, and we actually got some off season stuff right here, but let's get to the duty right here, which is telling you we're broadcasting live right now into our Facebook page, which is the Lions Villain Squad. Right there, you can like, follow, and subscribe to the YouTube or the UDFA, the undrafted free agent, the Tom Kennedy of sports podcasting. And you can help us out by liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing. We got a YouTube channel as well at Lions Villain Squad. We're also broadcasting live into the Huddle Sports Network on Roku, baby. That's right. Thank you to them and Joe Chap and the boys over there at Detroit Lions News Podcast right there. It's faith, family, and then football. It's in that order. It's important for us to get it in that order, especially in the off season, especially when we're talking trash. Make sure we keep it in perspective. We use football to spend time with our family. Don't let football use us. So, being that done. And this episode of the Lion Villain Report, as always, is brought to you by the Fanatics Fanatics.com right there. You can get officially licensed gear from the NFL, including that fantastic Lions pullover hoodie right there. You can get WWE gear. You can get NHL gear, MLB gear, NBA gear. All your swag, your sports swag, be looking as good as you can. Scan that code, save up to 25% off of your order from our affiliate marketing partners at Fanatics.com. Thank you. Yes. Want to say hello to everybody in the chat. Good morning to everybody. Let's see who we got in here, if anybody. Nobody likes to listen to me. That's right. Dwayne, what's up, brother?
You like that? You like that?
Dwayne's in the house. Davies in the house. Thank you guys for whoever just scanned the QR code right there. What's up, Central Scrutinizer? John's up in the house. All right, we want to have a conversation today. Guess what happened? The Lions did one of the things that I thought that they would do. And one thing is, like, bring back your own. Bring back your own guys. Lions extending Derek Barnes 3 years, $25.5 million extension. 16 of it is fully guaranteed. And the people that love this show, all one of you, know that I keep it real with the contracts, right? So what does this contract really mean? That means that we have Derek Barnes coming back. Now, he was injured last year. He had to recover from his injury. But this is a player that Brad Holmes drafted from the 2021 class in the 4th round. And they developed him. He was one of the slow burners, man. This is one of the reasons. Derek Barnes is one of the reasons that I tell people, stop calling people busts after 1 or 2 years. And this goes with every fan base. This isn't just Lion fans, me homering for my own guys. This is just being realistic. It's like it takes a couple years to develop in the NFL. I'm not saying that some guys don't pop in the first 2 years. Sam Laporta, Brian Brandt. I mean, we got some guys that'll pop right out. Brad Holmes finds those guys. That's what he does. But the Derek Barnes of the world, that's the majority of successful football players, is they got to figure out how to do it first. And Derek Barnes had a slow start, kind of like Aleem McNeil did, and ended up being a plus player. Goes out to a freak injury. Got to rehab from that injury. You know, some of the Lions injuries last year were because Brad loves to get injured players. But some of the injuries were just like, what the hell just happened? Like, what? You got injured doing that? What? Wow. That's crazy. That's crazy. And that was the Derek Barnes injury last year. But he was trending towards being a very good player. And they believe that. They showed that they agree with me on this by awarding with money. Not that agreeing with me means anything. But it's something that I've been saying is like, we believe in development. We believe in the guys that are on our team that have been here, that know what we're doing. And now that you got Kelvin Shepard as your defensive coordinator, I mean, why wouldn't you want the guy that you've been developing for 3 or 4 years already? It makes sense. This is a good extension. It's $8 million a year. It's starter linebacker money, but it's not top-end linebacker money, which is exactly where Derek Barnes lines up. I like this signing. I mean, I was just talking about it on Wednesday, you know, re-signing our own guys, knowing that we could do that. with my perfect offseason. I don't even think I had Derek Barnes in there, but I know that I had a whole crap load of cap left because the main thing that I wanted to get out there was that I thought that Myles Garrett was going to get traded after June 1st. And we're going to talk about that in a little bit. But let's get into the comments, see if anybody's got any good stuff in here so far. Rick G, what's up? CD is good and gone. Let's get into that right now. Wow, that'll be the next topic in here. Let's get into some CD talk because that's a big topic right now with him doing his little, agent thing in the media, right? So we're all supposed to freak out about this, right? We're all supposed to go, man, no, there's no way now. No, Carlton wants to be paid for what he does. I told you when I had his projected contract. Now I may even been down. He may want $20 million a year. I don't know that. But what I told you is Carlton ain't gonna play around with his money. Hometown discounts. What does that mean? We didn't grow him. He ain't hometown. He ain't gonna give us a discount. I did this on Wednesday. You got to go check it out. I literally did this contract on Wednesday in my mock off season, my first one, and I had us re-signing Carlton Davis on a 3-year deal that was over what PFF had him projected getting per year because he's a cornerback that's going to want his money, and he's the best cornerback that's on the market. It just so happened he's our guy. Does that mean we're not going to bring him back? No, doesn't mean he's not going to bring him back. It means that he is trying to drive up his value right now. He tweets like twice a year. So if he were to tweet like that, I promise you that he cleared that with his agent that is trying to get him paid before he put that out there. That was not a slight against Brad Holmes. You guys better pay me. You better know what I'm worth. It wasn't that. It was him buttering him up right before he goes into free agency. And he lets him know. Look, check out the tape. I ain't going to make the same mistake twice. What mistake? He came here and he played. I don't think that that's a slight against Brad Holmes or anything. I think he's trying to get paid in free agency. And I think that Brad Holmes is going to be at the top of that list of guys that are going to go in there because we got enough money to pay him. And if they don't get Carlton Davis, they're going to go and they're going to replace that production somewhere else. But I know they had a budget because they've been talking with Carlton Davis. So if they've been talking to Carlton Davis, I know that they've been going, hey, you want to play for $2 million a year? They ain't been trying to do that. They're in the ballpark. So I know that their mindset is we're going to spend 15 at least, right? So what are we talking about here? And if he doesn't sign, they're going to take that $15 million and they're going to go, oh, just like, remember Jamal Williams? I'm insulted with that. Goes down, go ahead, try to go get your money. We got $6 million for you. That's an insult. So he goes and with his insulted behind and goes to New Orleans and gets 4. He bet on himself. I have no problem with that, but it wasn't a bet that paid off for him. Carlton Davis is making he's betting on himself, saying I'm going to get this money. We're going to make him an offer. But I promise you that offer that's sitting right here for Carlton, if he decides to go sign with the Jets for $20 million, we're going to go, okay. DJ Reed, okay. Shavarius Ward. We're going to get a guy in there for that. So there's my thoughts on Carlton Davis. We should, this should the number one priority. We should be willing to pay him, 15 plus million a year. That's what he is. That's what he is. I know the injury concern. Everybody's got injury concerns. Everybody's got injury concerns. It's so funny, like, Lion fan wants their cake and they want to eat it too. I'm so sick of the Lions going out and getting these injury-prone players. Okay, cool. Get one that isn't injury-prone, but you're going to pay $35 million a year. Do you know why you get a discount? Because you are taking a chance on them being injured. That's what every team literally does in free agency. All of them. I bet if you look through the free agency list, 70% of them have injury concerns. That's why they get released, Joey Bosa. I don't want to get Joey Bosa. He's an injury concern. Well, show me what one isn't. And the ones that aren't, they want max contracts. And we're not going to pay max contracts to people outside of the organization. That doesn't work. And it's like, I'm in this train of thought with these contracts, like Howie Roseman. Howie Roseman's getting praised out loud right now. And I get it, man. And I really don't have a leg to stand on with that. But I'm just telling you right now that is not sustainable, what they are doing. And I just, I just want to show it to you again, because I get crucified for this because, oh, yeah, he's got a Super Bowl and you're criticizing the champion. Okay. Sure, I am. I'll criticize him a little bit. But the thing is, it's like, I want to show these $1 million. These guys have squeezed every single ounce of equity. When I'm looking at these base salaries, there's no room. The base salaries is what you reconstruct. That's what you reconstruct when you're trying to convert base salary to signing bonus. When you're trying to lower your cap number. They don't have any room to do that anymore. And the way that they've got these contracts set up, I think they're just throwing away 2029. They're throwing it away. And the reason I say that is because in 2029, Jalen Hurts will no longer be on their team, and their cap number for him is $97 million, and there's not a damn thing they can do about it. Lane Johnson will be, A.J. Brown will have a $29 million cap hit. What else am I looking at here? Avoid your Devontae Smith, $35 million cap number on the team on a voided contract. Landon Dickerson, $35 million cap number on a voided contract. So, yes, I get, he's the greatest GM in the world. I mean, I don't know. What is the right way? Do we sell our whole soul for the devil? Because this is going to blow up on them. I mean, you're paying Lane Johnson 1, 2, 3 voided years. You got 16 million, 22 million, 35 million. They are selling their souls for this. It's unsustainable. I get it. I mean, the thing is like, would you do it? That's the ultimate question. Is would you do it? I mean, well, Lions have been so starved for so long. I don't think that there's a Lion fan alive that wouldn't be like, sell your soul, bring them all in, give up 2029 and 2028 and 2027. Give it up right now. Give it up so we can win right now. I mean, I know people are there. And I can't push back on you all that much. I don't agree with you, but I'm not going to, I don't feel any certain way about you. That's okay for you to feel like that, in my opinion. You sell it all right now. It's like, I don't know. But, so where have we been so far? This is the Lion Villain Report. We're brought to you by the Fanatics.com. So far, we have talked about Derek Barnes signing a 3-year, $25 million extension. And I like the contract, $16 million guaranteed. And what $16 million guaranteed tells me that it's really a 2-year deal. Let's be real with how these contracts work, right? Everybody's like, oh, wow, $25 million. It's a 3-year, 25. No, it's not really a $25 million deal. And I hate that they do it like this because they really confuse people. 16 million is the number that you need to know. 16 million. Because after you get past guaranteed money, you get into this weird spot. And that's the next thing that I want to bring up is that weird spot, right? Let's talk about that weird spot. There's a couple of things that I think that we're going to be doing here. And it's like, don't crucify me on this. Don't hurt me on this. But this is something that I brought up the other day. And these are like cap casualties. And the first one on that list was Khalif Raymond. And when I look at Khalif Raymond's contract, there's nothing wrong to me with Khalif Raymond. It's the fact that our offense is starting to go to a new direction, right? He signs his extension in, I think it was 2022 is when he signed his extension. I'm checking it out right now because I don't want to move that thing off there. But Khalif Raymond, he signed his extension at the beginning of 2023. And at the beginning of 2023, there was this, like, I'm just trying to take you back to the timeline. But in 2023, there was this Jameson Williams, like, gloom. What is he going to do? The suspension. So they extended Khalif Raymond in that, not knowing if Jameson was going to be mature enough. Now Jameson Williams came in these last year and he was able to, excel. And it looks like he's going to be the wide receiver that he was drafted to be. But when you look at Khalif Raymond's contract in this year, he has no guaranteed money. And his cap number is $6 million. Now, I want Khalif Raymond on the team. I do. I want him to be on the team. But I do not want to pay a punt returner, 5th wide receiver option $6 million. And I don't think Brad Holmes is going to do that either. So releasing Khalif Raymond would clear up $3.2 million, and they would avoid paying a roster bonus. And I think the roster bonus, let me look at this thing here. The roster bonus is like $750,000, $800,000 option. And I don't think they're not going that route there. And I love Khalif Raymond, but he's 31 years old. And one of the big things that I've heard this offseason is let's bring back Tim Patrick. And I like the idea of bringing back Tim Patrick. And I think that one of the ways that they would have to do that would be releasing Khalif Raymond to clear up the money to do it. So that's Khalif Raymond. What do you think about that? Let me know in the comments what you think. Releasing Khalif Raymond, you keep him, yay, nay. I mean, we have a lot of cap space right now. You could just have him play on there, but we're trying to squeeze out every single dollar that you can get, right? Especially if you want to keep these Myles Garrett dreams alive, you got to squeeze it out. You got to get smart where you're going to allocate this money. So let me know what you think about that in the comments. Do you keep Khalif Raymond at the existing contract? Or do you cut it? You save the $3.2 million instantaneously right now? So let me know in the comments what you think. All right, moving on. Part 2, Graham Glasgow. If you release Graham Glasgow, you're going to clear $2.2 million. And I had that as part of my Wednesday edition of my mock offseason, and I think that they're going to do. I mean, he had his worst season as a Lion. Really, I thought it might have been his worst season of his career. You know, you're starting him at left guard. I think you can just. I mean, there's a lot of left guards. There's a lot of interior offensive linemen that are available in free agency right now that would be a major upgrade that probably wouldn't cost you much more. So releasing Glasgow, he's got kind of a crazy contract, and if you release him this year, then you're not getting crucified as much next year on the dead cap. You're hitting this year's dead cap with the biggest number, and next year is going to be the trickier cap year for the Lions. It's not this year. It's next year. That's trickier. And really, you don't want extra dead cap when it comes to Graham Glasgow. Now, I ain't saying that you can't bring him back, for a bag of chips. But you don't want him being your starting left guard going into the season. That, in my opinion. So, Graham Glasgow, I think that one's pretty easy. I don't want to spend too much time on that. Graham Glasgow, what do you think? Put that in the comments. What do you think about releasing Graham Glasgow right there? Do I have people that are on my side, or are you guys going to be outside my house with pitchforks telling me that I'm trying to ruin the team? Either way, let me see what we got in the comments right here. Oh, broski, I hope that you're just not starting trouble. I actually want to be able to use some of your guys' comments on here. Oh, he already called somebody a communist. Oh, God. Oh. Oh, come on. Is somebody paying attention to the show? I'm trying to go through it. Carolyn, thank you, Carolyn. Thank you, Carolyn. Says, keep Raymond. There we go. Broski's talking football now. Cool. Lions can cut the cord with Raymond. They will draft a wide receiver day 2. Yeah, I just, when I'm looking at the Raymond, it's not. I mean, it is. You reward the guy for what he did, right? And he got rewarded, and he played well. There's nothing wrong with the play. I mean, the guy is so clutch, right? He's going to be your 5th wide receiver option. I do believe they bring him right back when they cut him. He's got to know. I mean, they could redo his deal too. He's in the last year of his deal, but the thing is they would have to get that done, restructure the deal. I mean, I guess they don't have to release him. They could redo it. They could probably get more money that way too, if they work it like an extension, but they're not going to extend him at $8 million a year. So that would be kind of tricky too. Hey, you want to do an extension and take less money? He might do that. Carolyn's in there, she says, release Glasgow. Release him. Glasgow can go. Release the fading Glasgow. Yeah, I don't mind him on a veteran minimum deal as depth as like your third or fourth option because he does play multiple positions. Khalif is replaceable for much less money. We can do that in free agency. I think that lends itself with the Tim Patrick. Lines right up with the Tim Patrick deal. Right? You want to bring back Tim Patrick? He's a great wide receiver 3 option. Right? Well, releasing Raymond, for one, opens up all those targets, and then you can bring back Tim Patrick. I could justify it in my mind. Right now, I'm not on a bring back Tim Patrick train. And it isn't because of Tim Patrick. It's less of Tim Patrick. It's more about, paying $8 million a year for a wide receiver that's going to be your 5th option on the team. You know what I'm saying? You got Sam Laporta. He's at least your 3rd option. Jamison Williams is going to get more targets. Oh, wow, my biggest playmaker and fastest guy on the team. What should I do? Should I give him the ball or chances to touch the ball more or less? The Lions are trending in that direction to where they know who their guys are now. We're passing the point of, I wonder if this guy can okay, we know who Jamison is. We know who Amon-Ra St. Brown is. We know who Sam Laporta is. Hell, we know who Khalif Raymond is. Like I said, I want to keep Khalif Raymond, but it's just not going to be at $6 million against the cap. Let's see what else we got in here. Lions release Glasgow. Means they need to replace both of the guard spots. No, we need to replace one guard spot because we have Mahogany, and whether we like it or not, I believe he's going to get that shot to be in there. So you need to replace one starter in there, but that starter, broski, Glasgow had his worst year of his career, and when you got all 4 other linemen playing really, really well, we're bitching about Taylor Decker, who was an alternate for the Pro Bowl. It's like, okay, if that's where you're at, where that's your worst offensive lineman is a guy that was an alternate for the Pro Bowl, then I think that you're doing okay there. You got center, tackle set. You got your right guard set with Mahogany. Mahogany was our best offensive lineman in every game that he played. I think they got a steal right there in the 6th round. I'm glad that they got him. You need to draft some guys. You need to go into free agency, and you do need to replace Graham Glasgow. You cut a player that was playing snaps for you. So you need to go in there. Now, what I suggested, going through what I really like is, let me see if I can find my little deal right there. Was Patrick McCarry. I think that he seems like a lion. You give him like a 3-year, $20 million deal. $3 million, $24 million deal. Count $6-7 million against the cap this year. And then you replace that production with a guy that can play not only the interior, but he can play your tackle positions too. That would be my call right there, broski, to replace that production. Yeah, I really am trying to let your sidebar conversations be sidebar conversations, but sometimes it's hard for me to go through and figure out where they're at. But that was my answer to you right there. John says that Glasgow is a vital player because he can fill the center without half of the fall off in case of injury. Yeah. I agree with that. I just don't want him starting, John. And right now he's getting, low-end starting money, and he's not there. So when they release him, like I said, I don't have any problem with them bringing him back. But I'm telling you that his production isn't all that hard to replace as of right now. I know you think he's a vital player, but there's other players that can do that, especially like the guy I just brought up. And there's a lot of guys in there. And we can bring those up here in a minute. I want to move on right here. Another thing that I want to do this offseason, I think this is going to be done, is extending Alex Anzalone. Now, no, hey, broski, don't apologize to me. I want you guys arguing in the this is something I got to get better at, broski. I'm trying to get better at being a podcast host, you know? And I want you guys to be interactive, but I do want to feature some of the good comments that are out there too. So, and I don't want to feature the sidebar conversation. So, but I want you to have sidebar conversations, right? I want you guys to talk a little trash with each other. But I do want to make the main points the main points. And back to it. There it is. Extending Alex Anzalone could lower his cap number by $6 million. Now, this to me, I'm surprised I haven't done this yet. Because honestly, it's like he's the captain of the defense. And right now, let me look at this thing. And just for smoothness, I'm not going to let you look at what I'm looking at, but I'm bringing up the over the cap numbers of his contract right now. Now, right now, he's set to have a $7.2 million cap number, Alex Anzalone. And his base salary is $6 million. Now, I was bringing this up earlier with the Philadelphia. Philadelphia won the Super Bowl, and Howie Roseman should be commended for the stuff that he's doing right now. But it is not sustainable through it, and I just showed you the main reason why. I mean, they are going to, in 2029, they are going to be paying $98 million for Jalen Hurts, and he won't be on the team. And there's nothing that they can do to get around that $100 million right there. They are getting these players, and they're doing the things that they are doing because they are able to manipulate. And I mean, really, they're checking out of 2028, 2029. Even you could even say 2027. But they should still be able to maneuver in 2027. But they're selling it. They're selling their souls to do that. And I wanted to ask you guys, but we'll get into that now. I'm into this Alex Anzalone contract right here. So let me get this thing up here because I want you to see where his stuff is. Damn it, Russ. I'm getting better at this. I gotta finding all these different things. Did that work? Hell no, it didn't. Let me try again. Are you gonna work it now? You gonna work? Yeah! Give it to him. Give it to him, Russ. Right there. Alex Anzalone's contract in 2025 right here has no guaranteed money. And that's the captain of your defense. So this to me is just like, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. It's like, you got to do this, right? Right? Yeah. You know, zero guaranteed money. And then here you are with a $6 million base salary and a $7 million cap number. This is a no-brainer. You don't even have to extend them by a lot. Really, if you just want to put 1 year on it, I'd probably put 2 years on it, extend it by 2 years. I mean, you can lower that cap number by $6 million just by keeping Anzalone. I mean, come on. So, I mean, Anzalone's on the team, so I don't want to make this sound like, oh my God, why are they doing Alex Anzalone wrong? But I do want to say that contract is set up in a way almost like when they signed the extension, like they were prepared to do this. Like this is a no-brainer. This would be no-brainer, and you can free up like $6 million worth of money. If you want a chance of getting Myles Garrett, I think this will get done. I mean, even if you don't want that, if you want another high-price free agent, you want to go get Khalil Mack and spend $22 million. This is the type of move that you make to get it done. Rich is commenting in here, says Anzalone at left outside linebacker, Jack Campbell in the middle, Derek Barnes, the right outside linebackers. That will be it. That is it, baby. You got the starters sitting right there. You got Malcolm Rodriguez, Trevor Nowaski, and Ben Neiman backing them up. Yeah. You got to like our linebackers. And you're probably thinking they're probably going to draft one too. That's what I like about the way Brad Holmes does things. And it's like, it's so funny listening to people criticize Brad Holmes for not making moves yet. Free agency hasn't started yet. It's not until next Wednesday. La. Alex will retire in Detroit. He'll do whatever Dan asks him to do. Harrison says holding out. Alex is not going to hold out, guys. He won't hold out. As a matter of fact, I don't think the Lions are going to let it get there. Alex Anzalone needs to be re-signed and rewarded. I mean, he is on the team. I do want to clarify that, Carolyn. I mean, you probably already know that. But this is just a good opportunity, in my opinion, right there. Broski Bear says, how much gas does Anzalone have left in the tank, though? We really going to pay a 31-year-old linebacker for a few more seasons? It doesn't seem like a Brad Holmes move. No, what doesn't seem like a Brad Holmes move? You see, there's a fine line here, broski. Brad Holmes will do this move right here. I mean, at 31, we're not talking about 35, okay? We're not talking 35. We're talking 31. Now, right now, he's signed through his 31-year-old season. If you add 2 years, you're going to take him to your final year will be 33 years old. And you know how 2-year extensions do. It's like, it's really a 1-year extension with an out after that first year. So right now you can lower his cap number by $6 million. I mean, it's just something that's there. I mean, and last year he played at a high level. He knows the defense. I am doing the do. Rocking and rolling. And I got some surprises for you guys in this offseason too. But let me know what you guys think in the comments about this Alex Anzalone deal. What do you think about that? That's just one of those things I brought in here. Let's see what you guys got in these comments in here. Let's get to some of your guys' stuff. Right there. Holmes, always making moves. That's his job. Right there. Oh, you want to know what I think about Trey Hendrickson? It's crazy. It's like you want to have one or you want to have the other, right? I think that Trey Hendrickson is going to cost you less draft capital, but it's going to cost you a hell of a lot more money because he wants the giant extension. He wants to go and, you know, he's 17 and a half sacks this season. So he wants that, you know, he wants the big deal. He wants Max Crosby money. He wants Aiden Hutchinson money. So I don't think the Lions are going to do that. Myles Garrett, believe it or not, is the best short-term play to win a Super Bowl, where you're getting the production. And you got a guy that doesn't necessarily want an extension, you may be able to get Myles Garrett to play on his existing deal with the Lions if you were to trade for him. So, in between Hendrickson and Myles Garrett, I think the Myles Garrett trade is way more probable. I mean, I think that you might have to give up maybe one first-round pick, maybe a second, maybe just a second-round pick, maybe a second and a third for Hendrickson. But you immediately got to make him the highest paid, the guy in the league. You got to make him like the guy, and you're already trying to do that. So I'm thinking that, like the Doctor Strange world, right? Where he's like, how many realities do we trade for Hendrickson? About 1 in 8 billion. Nah, I don't think that's going down. That's my opinion. All right. Thank you for the comment, though. Let me get back in my presentations right here. So we talked about Khalif Raymond. We talked about Graham Glasgow. We talked a little bit about lowering that cap number. I think that's a advantageous thing to do right there. Another thing that you can do would be releasing Zadarius Smith. And I think that this is just a matter of, this is another just formality right here, because there is zero chance in my mind that Zadarius Smith plays on his existing contract. I'm not saying that we don't have him here and that he isn't a Detroit Lion. That is not what I am saying. But I'm saying that releasing Zadarius is almost a necessity, because you don't want him to play on that existing contract. And I'll tell you why. So, Zadarius Smith in this year is on one of those types of deal where he doesn't have any of this guaranteed money. And he is due a roster bonus. So if you were to cut him, you instantly save every dollar of the cap, which is $5,727,500. You immediately save that money. You avoid paying a $2 million roster bonus for him. And, you know, I like Zadarius Smith, and I think that he could be good opposite of Aiden Hutchinson, but it's just like a market value for a 32-year-old pass rusher isn't that high. So he's going to get some money. He'll get money. I mean, I think that you could pay Zadarius, $2.5 million against the cap, maybe. A deal with incentives that could get him up to 10, something like that. But you're not. I mean, give him the deal that you gave Davenport last year, and don't re-sign Davenport. Keep Zadarius as your Davenport. Please don't take the chances on these guys again, just for my sanity on this show. Like, I'm going to back up a Brad Holmes move just because, like, I believe in the method that he's got going on. I believe last year was a fluke of some of the things that happened. Some of it you can put on the fact that he brings in an injured player, but that's what free agency is, guys. Let's not sugarcoat this. So, Rick says, who do I propose that we have opposite of Hutch as Zadarius Smith is released? I mean, I think that you go into the combination. For one, you offer to bring him back. I mean, Zadarius isn't got the wool pulled over his eyes. I don't think that this is a thing that is going to offend him. I think that he knows that the Browns contract was loaded up like this, that this year probably won't happen. That's why I tell you guys that when these deals come up, that do the right thing and look at the guaranteed money. Look at the guaranteed money. That's where the money is. That's the only thing that matters. Everything else outside the guaranteed money is fluff. It's fluff. Ooh, it's $25 million contract. No, it isn't. It's a 2-year, $16 million deal that looks like a 3-year deal. I guarantee that when they come in there and they're looking at that contract, and I wonder if they have it up already for Derek Barnes, that's what it's going to look like. It ain't going to look like a 3-year, $25 million contract. It's going to look like a 2-year, $8 million a year contract that has a low. It's probably going to count, if I had to guess. And this is before it comes out. It's not out yet. Before it comes out, I'm going to guess that the cap number is probably $3 to $5 million. Maybe even lower, but probably $3 to $5 million. And that there is a giant out after the second season. And this isn't like Brad Holmes being more genius than any other GM. That's just GM 101. That's what they do. So that's a move that I think. And these are all. I didn't even label this part, but these are all just like cap saving moves that the Lions can do. You know, extending Alex Anzalone, you can get $6 million there. You can get $2.2 million right there. You can get $3.2 million for Raymond. You can save 5.2 and then an extra 2 releasing Zadarius Smith. So there's like an extra 12 million right there. And and I'm not saying that it's like dead weight stuff, but it's like opportunities to like get younger. I mean, there's a couple of guys in free agency that I think that could be there better than like a Zadarius Smith, where I'd like it better. And it would cost in the mids. I mean, there's guys that can make a difference that are out there. Edge defenders, you know, you want to go out and get Khalil Mack? I don't know. I mean, that you have an opportunity to do that. Like, in my exercise that I did, that because I think that people don't understand how far you can stretch $50 million. And even if you're being frugal with it, you know, even if you're just trying to cut the corners, and that's why I'm not saying cut corners, but cutting cap, you know, finding more ways to bring in talent, because the roster looks good right now without really doing much. I mean, you look at this contract and everyone's like, oh, there goes $8 million. No, there you go. There goes $8 million. And it's like, you don't even realize that was a move that's probably going to cost $3 million against the cap. Still plenty of money. And I'm showing you another way that they can get more money so they can get players. You know, I brought up Malcolm Kuntz as a possible guy. Now, he's a guy that is coming off of an injury. Now, if you can get him cheaper than market value, then I could see them taking a chance on a guy like Malcolm Kuntz out of the Raiders. He was on the opposite side. Had 9 sacks in a season on the opposite of Crosby. Now, they just spent a whole bunch of money on Crosby, so I doubt they're going to re-sign him. So he'd be available. A plus player, graded out at 81.1 on PFF the year that he went out. Those are the type of moves. It's funny. It's like to get criticized for getting injured players. You know, do you go out and get Chase Young? If you can get these guys, do you go out, you get Joey Bosa? Oh, he's injured. Well, they're all injured. Khalil Mack. Oh, he's too old. Sweat. Oh, he just won the Super Bowl. Yeah, but he's going to want $20 million a year. So, welcome to free agency. You get injury-prone guys, right? That's what happens. Broski Bear, you know about injury-prone guys. You just signed Jonah Jackson, right? He plays 4 games a year. He hasn't been available, but he still gets $17 million a year. But that's what you got to do in free agency. That's what you got to do to get better. When you sign these guys, and I'm not even going to poo-poo on the Jonah Jackson deal. Get Thuney. The Bears get Jackson. They're building around their franchise quarterback. Now, do most Lion fans think that Jonah Jackson's going to play 4 games and then get injured? Yeah, but that's the chance that you got to take if you want to get better. You got to pick up players that have injury histories. You know what players that don't have injury histories are the guys that get extended from their team because they don't get injured and they extend those players. Those players don't leave the teams they draft. Find me a bunch of free agents that don't have some kind of injury history. Find me one anywhere for any team. And the ones that don't have injury histories, they want top market value for their skills, and they'll get it, and they deserve it. Who are we to say, yeah, we give them a hometown discount? Why? That's why when I brought up the Lions signing Carlton Davis, you got the NFL, the PFF projection him at $14 million a year. That's why when I had the re-signing of Carlton Davis for the Lions, that I had him getting paid $15 million a year over the market value. You know why? Because he's the best cornerback that's on the market right now. And you know what the best cornerback on the market gets? He gets top market value. That's what you get, right? Broski in there talking about Thuney. Yeah. You cannot, if you're a Bear fan, you cannot complain about anything that Ryan Poles has really done. I mean, other than missing what any GM misses. Like, there's no GM that's going to be like, oh, 7 of my draft picks are all starters, and every free agent that I bring in, all of them work. Every single thing I do works. Everything. All of it. No GM can really say that. What you're looking for is you're looking for ways to just get your team better. And I give Ryan Poles all the credit in the world for bringing in talent, trying to get Caleb Williams protected. You want to figure out what you got there. Is he worth all of the hype? Can Ben Johnson get it out of him? So, yeah, I love having you on here, broski. This episode right here of the Lions Villain Report is brought to you by Fanatics.com. That's right. You can get officially licensed gear from the NFL, NHL, MLB, NBA, even WWE. Scan that code, save up to 25% off of your order from our affiliate marketing partners over at Fanatics.com. Thank you, guys. Thank you. And thank you for whoever just scanned the code. I appreciate you guys. You know, I'm just a knucklehead with a podcast that hits you up every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday during the off season. And we get into talking about this stuff. And then we be talking. And I think that we're at a part at this off season right here. I'm going to bring up another topic as we get into these things right here. And that is trading Garrett post June 1st is the easiest thing that Cleveland can do. One of the reasons I 100% believe that Cleveland is stonewalling Garrett right now. I mean, I think some of it is media hype because this is the biggest story in the offseason for any team anywhere. Every team is going to get Myles Garrett and win the Super Bowl, okay? It's big. So don't yell at me for doing clickbait when literally every outlet in the sports world is talking about it. So to me, it would be me being irresponsible if I'm at all serious about being any type of journalist for this, that I wouldn't cover it. But Myles Garrett is going to be traded. I mean, the dude is taking a position. They're playing the who's got the bigger chest, who can puff out their chest the furthest. Is it the Browns? Who's got the control? Well, that's Myles Garrett. He's the one that he can play or he can not play. No. It's not Myles Garrett. It's the Browns. They have all the control. So he signed a contract and he should get who has control? And do we know? We don't know who has control yet. We don't know. We're finding out. Get your popcorn ready. Get your popcorn ready. Myles Garrett, he'll get traded. But he ain't going to get traded when he wants to get traded. And I'll show you, it's the simplest reason why, guys. And if they do trade him beforehand, I don't know. For one, the Browns just restructured Deshaun Watson's stupid contract, and they're going to keep him here, which is probably more of the reason why he wants to get out. But they actually have $12 million in cap space. They fixed their problem, really, with Deshaun Watson. But what does that really mean? That means they're locked into Deshaun Watson through at least 2026. Because they got the big bulk of the deal is happening then. They took the cap relief down by $50 million, which gave him a little bit right there for his cap number this year. And then next year on his cap, it's going to be like $89 million. And they got to pay it, They got to get through the contract. So they're going to give him a crap load of money this year, crap load of money next year. Signing bonus, $35 million next year. They're trying to pay him so fast. And that's how they restructured the contract, where after 2026, the Browns will start to rebuild their team. And Myles Garrett sees this writing on the wall. It is what it is. And when you look at Myles Garrett's contract, if they were to trade him right now, they would have to eat immediately $16,494,100 if they trade him before the draft. That's why Cleveland is stonewalling everybody. It's not getting done. That's not that's why, and it's not even the Browns. No, it's the Browns being the Browns. They're not going to get it done. It's not that. It's the fact that it's stupid to trade him before the draft and lose money. I mean, they would have to charge somebody 5 first-round draft picks to make that make sense. Give me your first-round picks forever. So it's not going to work like that. Post June 1st, okay? Here's where we come down to reality. Come with me. Come with me. Come with me down. Come with me to reality. I will show you the reality, the realness of the situation. Here it is. By simply trading him after June 1st. Dun, dun, dun. Oh, wait. Post June 1st. Dun, dun, dun. Look at that. Cap savings. You can trade him post June 1st and get cap savings. Come on, guys, let's be real. The dream is not over yet for the Lions to acquire Myles Garrett. As a matter of fact, I think that the Lions are in the best position to go through the entire offseason and still have enough firepower after the free agency, after the draft. Everyone's going to blow their wads. But the Lions are going to be the last ones standing, and everyone's going to be like, yeah, I'm ready to win that Super Bowl. Okay, how long is Myles Garrett going to hold out? How long is Myles Garrett going to hold out? How long is Myles Garrett going to hold out? Until after June 1st. And whoever acquires Myles Garrett will have him. And you will have to spend first-round picks for 2026, 2027, and maybe even into 2028, because that's where the Browns are actually going to have a chance to compete for something, because they have to get through these 2 gauntlet years, 2025, 2026, so they can get out of this stupid contract that they brought in for Deshaun Watson. They restructured it in a smart way to where they can get out of it in 2 years. That's how bad it was in Cleveland. But count on it, guys. If they do trade him, they're going to have to restructure the deal first. I'm just saying, if they want to get this done beforehand. And they've squeezed every dollar out of that contract for Garrett. There's nothing to negotiate inside the contract. I don't even think that Garrett saying that is all of that. Oh, I'm not going to restructure. I don't even talk. There's nothing to renegotiate. It's like you've already pushed money 3-4 years past when he's even there. It's the move that the Philadelphia Eagles did. And it's like, that's the question I want for this. The Lions have actually set this offseason up to where they could fill all of their roster holes, and they're going to have enough money left over to do a splash like a Myles Garrett thing, because they've set themselves up like that. But some teams do that, like, you know, the salary cap is a myth to an extent, but, you know, like borrowing money, and then you borrow money to borrow money, and then you borrow money to pay off the money that you borrowed the money for. You get into this loop that eventually the price tag is going to come due. And I've already shown you proof of where this is going to blow up for the Philadelphia Eagles. And my question to you is, this isn't even a negotiation with this, because I'm right. when it comes to this. Where this is blowing up for them. These are all $1 million base salaries on here, which means that there's nothing left on the bone, Jurgens. And look at these voided contracts that you continue to have to pay for. The dead cap, you gotta pay for that. You have to pay for that. You don't just get when we released them early, I guess we don't have to worry about it. You have to pay for that. This is a voided year. You have to pay for that. There's no cap savings. You can't cut that. And then as you get further and further down that line, you're looking at all of they have sold their souls. 2027, 2028. Look at this Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts in 2029 isn't going to be on the team. He's going to count $97 million against their cap. Could you imagine trying to start your roster? You don't have a quarterback anymore, so there is no Jalen Hurts. You don't have $242 million. You have $97 million less than that. Look at all these numbers over here. $35 million, $35 million, $35 million. I get it. You're going to have Saquon Barkley. You're going to have this loaded team. They have widened their window so wide right now. The Philadelphia Eagles, their window is so wide open right now. For the next 2 years, it's beautiful for them. They should be living on cloud nine. But they mortgaged 5 years of their future after that. To where you gotta pay for these guys. I'm glad that Howie Roseman knows how to use a credit card, baby. Like, he can use it. He knows that. He's the best I've ever seen at it. It is what the thing is like the question I want to ask you about that is, would you do it? If you're Brad Holmes, are you mad at Brad Holmes for not just taking the credit card and just going, woohoo! Yeah! Let's get everybody! Woo! Let's do it, baby! Let's get everybody! I got so excited right there. My headphones came off. Let's go to Vegas, baby. Let's sell it all for 1 or 2 years of just the highest level. They can't sustain that. In 3 years, you're going to have Jalen Carter and these other guys that are on good rookie deals are going to be going, what the hell, man? You can't sign those guys with all that dead money on there. So enjoy it, guys. But would you do it for the Lion fan? Do you want him to do that? Do you want Do you want Brad Holmes to sell it all? Sell away 28, 29, 30, 31. If you had to sell those 4 years for... and it doesn't guarantee you a Super Bowl, by the way, doing it this way. But it gives you, it might give you a couple notches extra. John says, be careful, don't spill your dew. I feel it, baby. I'm feeling it today. But that's what I asked. Would you sell it all? Like if you're... Like the Lions Super Bowl window is open right now, and they're doing it in a cap conscious way. Now, would you sell it all down the line? Would you sell away 4 years of success so that window could be open a little bit more? Just a little bit more. Because Myles Garrett does give you the best chance to win a Super Bowl, but it doesn't guarantee anything. You know, you want your players to get better. You want your team to get better. But would you sell it all just for that window to be open a little bit more? Maybe a lot more. I mean, I don't know. You keep on stacking talent, I guess it would be undeniable. But that just means that you're a couple injuries away from disaster. And, you know, the Lions got to, you know, you plan, do, check, and adjust, right? Last year, they brought a lot of depth in, and it worked for 15-2. But that depth, you know, you have to beat the best teams in the NFL. So that's where a little bit of luck comes involved, too. You got to do a little bit of luck in there. And where you get lucky is, you know, how healthy can you be going into the playoffs? Yeah, we had fourth, fifth stringer guys that came in and played good. That's fine. That's great. I love that. But we lost so much talent on the top end that you can't compete with the best teams because all of their guys are there. So it's easy to compare Lions to the Philadelphia Eagles and say, well, the Eagles are obviously better. Okay, well, yeah. They went into that Super Bowl with a loaded, fully healthy defense and roster. And a little bit of that is luck. You know, that you don't have your leg fall off in the middle of the season, Aiden Hutchinson, or get an ACL. Break your jaw. Like, not every team has that kind of luck, but you want to have your roster right when all those elements come together and you do have a healthy roster. You want to make sure that it's a good roster that your guys are healthy on. Because just because you go get these high-end guys that have the big names, it doesn't guarantee anything. Says the Central Scrutinizer said, I like how Holmes is doing the thing. Don't sell the farm for one stud. That's the thing, is like, we're not talking about the same thing, Scrutinizer, because your comment leads me to believe that you can't get Garrett and be roster conscious, and that's not true. If you can acquire, and I think that you're backing that up right here. On the other hand, it does take risks to achieve the award. The thing is you can make them calculated risks by the way that you go about doing it. You know, they've set themselves up to, I don't even think it's that much of a risk, because they've set themselves up on roster that they don't have to go out and fill a bunch of roster spots. This is a unique situation, and I've been through this a bunch of times on here, but I love going through it. Almost get better at doing it. But when you go through what we have already on the roster, there's not that much roster spots right there. You may not keep 3 quarterbacks, right? So there's no roster spots there. You know, you got running back right there. You got Craig Reynolds on a restricted free agency deal. I think that 4 out of 4 of those spots, I don't think that there's any room there. There is definitely a roster spot or 2 available right here. So there's 2. Let's just say 2 if they keep 5. They got Shane Zylstra. You know, there could be a roster spot that could draft somebody, or they could not. They're still developing young guys, and I love the top 2, so not really there. So still only 2. Offensive line wise, well, yeah, we definitely need to, on the tackle end, pick up 1 or 2 of those. I'll say 2. So there's 4 roster spots. Interior, we haven't gotten rid of any of these guys, so we need 2 right now, even if we don't get rid of Glasgow. We still need 2. If we get rid of Glasgow, it would be 3. So let's just say 3 right there. 7 roster spots. You know, I mean, and I'm talking roster spots. We got starters set in these spots. You know, you might have one right there as 8. You might have 1 or 2 spots there as 10. Cornerbacks got 2. There's 12 roster spots, maybe 13. No roster spots there now. Really? Maybe 1. 14, 15, 16. Maybe 16 roster spots on the entire team. And that's without picking up a Carlton Davis. That's without even going into free agency and doing anything. And then we're going to get into this draft, and it's going to be like, can 6 draft picks, 9 draft picks or whatever, can we fit that many guys on our roster? So with that being said, we go back to the Myles Garrett thing. It's like, don't tell me we can't afford Myles Garrett when there's not the roster spots. We don't need to fill a lot of roster spots. We need to fill the quality of roster spot. And some of those spots are hard to upgrade. You can't just go out and get another guy. You can't just go out and get a wide receiver, right? You want a guy that's going to try to compete somewhere, right? Right now, you got to go out and get a guy that's going to start in front of Zadarius Smith. Now, I did go through some scenarios where we could release those guys. Probably they will. But they haven't done it yet. And you release those guys, you got to get a guy that's better than Zadarius Smith. And don't laugh at me, but that's harder to do than you think it is. You know, like, come on. I mean, people out there talking like Zadarius Smith is some kind of bum. You can't just go out and just replace. I mean, you're just going to replace him? Can you replace him for less than $6 million? I don't know. But you want to upgrade that position, and you got money to do it. You got the money. I mean, Broski roasts me for the Lions always picking up injured player. Last season, they picked up a whole bunch of guys in free agency, and they got them on cheap Brad Holmes, Dollar General type of deals. They started 2024 with $32 million. I just want to put this into perspective. I'm not calling you out, Broski, but I just want Lion fan to understand this. We started out with $32 million. And then after we started out with $32 million, they re-signed Decker. They re-signed Amon-Ra St. Brown. They re-signed Penei Sewell. They got Davenport, traded for Carlton Davis, brought in Amik Robertson, extended Glasgow. I believe Reeves Maben was in there too. And they did that with $32 million. That, like, Howie Roseman's is not the only cap out there that can be stretched a little bit. And I don't know if you really understand how much 55 to 67 million, because when that new league year starts, we're going to get roughly $22 million, whatever rolls over from last year. So, not everybody saved money from last year. Brad Holmes been putting some money underneath of his bed. So we got a lot more money to play with and a lot less holes. You mean we're not in dire straits when it comes to, wide receiver room. There's not as much question about Jamison Williams, our number 1 target, our number 2 target, our number 3 target, who the running backs, the pecking order. It's not a two-headed monster as much anymore. It's a more Jahmyr Gibbs show. Like, people are sliding into their roles. They're knowing their roles. They're getting into their roles. The long-term guys are here. They're signed. You could go into the offseason. You're gonna extend Kirby Joseph. We're gonna keep the core together. You're gonna see more signings like this. We won't go outside of the organization all that much. And regardless of the tweet, guys, Carlton Davis, there's no reason that he can't sign here. There's no reason to get up in arms for the guy going out there saying you're going to pay me what I'm worth. Oh, he needs to give a hometown discount. No, he doesn't. Why? Why would he give a hometown discount? Why? Because he likes it here? That happens every once in a while. I'm not saying that it doesn't. But to expect it, like I said Wednesday, on my mock draft, I think we give him back, but we give him above market value. Because that's what you do. Expect some moves that you may think that are just kind of like boring. You know? Don't be surprised if they bring back Ifeatu Melifonwu. We got a safety room that has 2 guys in it right now. Keeping the band together. Keeping the band together. If they do that, I know that move will get scrutinized. Some of the stuff getting done, you know? Kevin Zeitler? I mean, you're trying to have security in a room, right? He played well enough to bring back. That's why you would cut Glasgow, you keep Mahogany, you bring back Zeitler. There you go. Good conversation today, guys. And I'm proud of myself because here we are on Friday. We're going to come in on Monday. We're going to get into some of these free agency things, but I have really tabled a lot of the draft talk because every year I get into draft talk and then, you know, you get all hyped up about this draft player, that draft player. And I haven't had to bring it up a lot on the show yet because it's not in the order of operation. We talk a little bit about it during the combine week, but the first thing that happens is free agency. Like, it's hard for me to say what player that I would like the Lions to draft until I'm not thinking, oh, we need this, right? Like right now, you just go, oh, God, we need these edge rushers. But we don't know what they're going to do in free agency. What if they pick up 2, you know, starter quality edge rushers in free agency? One that looks like a deal and one that, you know, that they spend some money on. I mean, are you still going in? I mean, obviously you want to keep drafting, but does that put it at the first round anymore? So I always hate talking too much about the draft before we do, you know, at least the first wave of free agency. And thank you for being concerned about my Mountain Dew, John. I appreciate that, man. I didn't want to spill the dew, but I got excited there for a second. But continuity is paramount. Some folks just don't know how to jam. And I like to put things in perspective for everybody. I hope that you guys enjoyed today's show. You know, and a little bit of that show review. You know, we talked about some of the players that we can release to create even more cap space that probably wouldn't hurt people's feelings too much. Extending Alex Anzalone would free up cap space, and he's a guy that you want to keep on the team and the continuity. Releasing Zadarius Smith is almost a necessity on that contract. Yeah, you try to bring him back, but you don't want him playing on that contract and roster bonus. And the breaking news of Derek Barnes signing a 3-year, $25 million deal with 16 guaranteed. Keeping the band together. Very strong linebacker room now. And you like that. And you like that. And the final topic that I want to do, I know it's 11:30. I hate having to address stupid crap like this. But before you tell me that I'm out there and I'm just, crying or whatever it is about Ben Johnson, I'm forced to do this, okay? Like, he comes out and he starts running his mouth about, the Lions and Jared Goff and everything like that, and you force me to do this. You force me to come out here and make a comment on it. Like, why wouldn't I make a comment on that? And he comes out and he says Jared Goff can't run. He wanted a mobile quarterback and all that. Called Jared Goff out by name. And I'll just say this. There is a reason that other coaches don't openly criticize players. And I got this quote over here from the I'm on Raw podcast that's just gonna give Jared that much more fire when they play the Bears. Am I here for it? I'm here for it. There's a reason that you don't openly criticize players. And Ben, you're gonna learn that. This isn't even I don't need to trash talk this. I don't need to trash talk this. You're going to find out. You F around, you're going to find out. You take a shot at Green Bay, and then you take a shot at the Lions, and then you take a shot at specifically Jared Goff. You're not just motivating Jared Goff in that situation, and there's a reason why people don't do it. There's a reason why you don't see Bill Belichick out there and Andy Reid out there and the best coaches in the world out there taking shots at players. It's because these are professional athletes, and you're not motivating just Jared Goff. You're motivating 53 guys on that roster. Every time that you play it, they're going to put that up on their poster board, and they're going to use it as motivation. And when you have something to play for on an individual basis every single time, it's just not something that you want to do. You don't want to give other teams bulletin board material. Now, whatever. We'll see how that plays out. We don't need to talk. You're the one doing all the talking. You talk trash and you haven't done anything remotely that's worthy of anything to really be talking about yet. Another great offseason that oh wow, the Bears could be great. Awesome. Great. I've heard it before. Like, let's see you do it. And miss me with the oh, you haven't won a Super Bowl. Listen, I know my team's getting better. I can look at my team. I don't have to talk about my team up against your team. We dog walk your team. Sweep every team. There's nobody in the North. I don't care. You want to talk some smack, whatever. Recency bias for me. My team's better than your team right now, and you're chasing us until you're not. So catch up before you run your mouth, Ben Johnson. It's okay. Run it. See how that works when we come in and we play you. That's all I got to say about that. All right. There it is. That was everything. So this has been the Lion Villain Report. I am your host, Russell Wayne. I am the resident villain. You can find me at the 313 Villain on X. You can find us on Facebook at Lions Villain Squad. You can find us on the YouTube at Lions Villain Squad. And I'm just a blue collar guy, man. I'm a father of an autistic son. I support autism awareness right here. Every single time that I'm on here, I'm just a blue collar guy with a Lions page, man. I am not corporate. I'm not ESPN. I'm not Woodward. I'm not any of that stuff. I'm just a guy that likes the Lions, and I respect journalists. I want to kind of hack my way through this and learn this and continue to make my living talking to y'all about sports. And I appreciate anybody that supports the UDFA. And the main thing that you can do is liking, sharing, and commenting. You know, join the conversation. You know, I love talking to y'all. I mean, have an argument in the comments about whose team is better. I like the offseason because that's when your team gets the betterest. I like that. I like that.
You like that?
So thank you, everybody, for joining me today. May the Lord bless you. May the Lord keep you. May the Lord shine his face upon you until we meet again. In Jesus' name, amen. That is it right there. Faith, family, then football in that order. We use football to spend time with our family. We don't let football use us. So you guys take care. Peace and love to y'all. I'll see you guys on the flip side on Monday, 10 a.m. for the Lion Villain Report. Peace out.
Yo, the lies so that you never make it. Hopeless, so it seems. Eyes closed, candles open wide to embrace your dreams. Sometimes you gotta take a loss just to get the win, like lies to sin was.